Leonard Hayes, the CEO of one of the fastest-growing tech firms in the city, was known for two things: his ruthless discipline and his obsession with perfection. He trusted no one easily, and in his world, mistakes were not forgiven. His company had just landed a major government contract worth millions, but the pressure was immense. Every line of code, every presentation, every decision was under a microscope. He lived in a sprawling penthouse apartment that overlooked the city, but despite the glittering lights, the halls of his home were empty. He rarely noticed the people working behind the scenes, the driver, the cook, and certainly not the maid. To him, they were background noise, faceless helpers in a life too busy for acknowledgement. Her name was Alina. She had come to the city only months earlier, running from a small town where opportunities were scarce and poverty clung like a shadow. Her resume meant nothing in this place. No one cared that she had once topped her school in mathematics, or that she spent nights teaching herself computer programming on a borrowed laptop. To survive, she took the only job available, cleaning houses. And so, fate placed her in the home of the man who lived at the top of the ladder she once dreamed of climbing. One rainy evening, when the city's traffic raged and Leonard stayed late at work, Alina was wiping down the glass desk in his study. The computer screen glowed faintly. He had left it on, lines of code frozen mid-project. She paused. Her heart beat faster. Her fingers itched. She knew she shouldn't, but curiosity and something deeper pulled her closer. Her reflection looked back at her from the black screen as she whispered, "Just a minute." Just 1 minute. She sat down. Her hands hovered, then danced across the keyboard. The problem on the screen was familiar: an algorithm running endlessly but failing to optimize. She rewrote a few lines, adjusted a sequence, and then her code ran. Smooth. Efficient. Perfect. For the first time in weeks, she felt alive, but the sound of footsteps behind her turned her blood cold. "What are you doing?" The voice cracked like thunder. Leonard stood in the doorway, his face a storm of anger. His maid, was sitting at his personal computer, touching sensitive files worth millions. "I'm sorry, sir," Alina stammered, jumping to her feet. "I didn't mean." "You didn't mean? Do you have any idea what you've just done?" His eyes burned with disbelief. "This computer holds confidential projects. You could have ruined everything." He shoved past her and checked the screen. But instead of errors, he saw the program running better than it had in weeks. The lines of code were improved. His jaw tightened. He turned to her slowly. "You wrote this?" Her hands shook. I just fixed a small part. It was looping unnecessarily. "I'm sorry. Please, don't fire me." For the first time in years, Leonard was speechless. He had spent days with his top developers trying to solve that very glitch, and Maid had corrected it in minutes, but anger still clouded his pride. "Get out. Now. Before I regret letting you in this house." Alina left that night with tears blurring her eyes. She knew she had crossed a line. Yet part of her heart ached not from fear of losing her job, but from the sting of being seen as nothing more than the maid. The next morning, Leonard couldn't focus. He stared at her code again and again. It was elegant, efficient, almost genius. How could someone with no access to his resources, no elite education, possibly write like this? He did something uncharacteristic. He asked the head of HR to pull Alina's background. What he found shocked him. She had no formal degree, no fancy certificates. Just odd jobs. But tucked in her history was a trail: online courses completed late at night, community workshops attended in between shifts, and a consistent pattern of someone hungry to learn. That night, when Alina returned quietly to clean, Leonard was waiting. "You shouldn't have touched my computer," he said firmly. "I know." She kept her head down. "But you saw something my best team didn't. Why didn't you ever apply for a job in tech?" Her lips trembled with a bitter laugh. "Who would hire a maid without a degree? Without connections? People see me with a broom, not a keyboard." Silence hung heavy between them. Then Leonard said something that surprised even himself. "Show me what else you can do." Her eyes widened. "What?" "You have 10 minutes. Sit. Write. Solve this." He handed her another piece of code he had been struggling with. Alina's hands shook as she typed, but slowly her confidence returned. Within minutes, she cracked the problem. Leonard leaned over her shoulder, watching as line after line flowed with precision and creativity. For the first time, the cold CEO felt something shift inside him. Respect.